trove of knowledge about what cities are doing. You'll find out later about how we're trying to pull up in other ways than just through the awards program some of the lessons that we're learning. That's going to be part of tomorrow's agenda. But now I have the great pleasure, and this is part of what I love about these ceremonies, is to hear how last city's highest winning awards use their support in exchange of their practices with other cities. So the first that I would like to invite up is Barbara Emanuel from Toronto to give a presentation about the work that they did in the past year. Welcome, Barbara.
Thanks so much. It's wonderful to be here and to share what we've done in the last year. I'm a great believer in enabling people to speak for themselves. So I'm going to talk very little and share the voices of the participants in the Community Food Works for Newcomers Settlement Program. The only thing I will add is that the program, the initiative, is constantly evolving, and that the City of Toronto is experiencing something of a refugee crisis that is changing all the time as a result of the policies from the United States. So we have a lot in common with many European and other countries that receive large numbers of refugees, and this program will hopefully evolve to address those needs. So thanks very much.
Everybody. So just to give you a little bit background about what the Community Food Works for Newcomers is we started this program as a result of a large influx of Syrian refugees coming to the country. But it is for newcomers, and it can be tailored to any newcomer group. So the basic principle for the program is to develop those skills for newcomers that will help them integrate into the society. It is a program where we are using peers who are graduated from the program to help their peers. So this group of women here today are our peers. We are trying if we can establish a group of caterers who are our graduates. We know that starting a new business is really very challenging, especially when it comes to food. It's not an easy thing.
This is the name of the business. It's called Nish Dish. And so we serve traditional indigenous First Nations food. So I'm really interested to exchange knowledge about what you want to do with your catering business, and then how I can assist with some of the things we've done with Nish Dish in order to get where we are now.
I would like your advice for us at the beginning.
In the beginning, I'd say keep your menu simple.
Simple, yes.
Don't try to have 50 different dishes or 100 different dishes.
Yeah, yes.
Keep it simple, accessible for people to understand, and always have a variety. Like you said, you have vegetarian, also have vegan dishes.
Yes.
And
dishes. Halal and
yes.
kosher.
Yes.
Kosher.
Kosher, yeah.
Kosher for the people.
So how is everything going? It's wonderful.
The food sector has been a point of entry for newcomers because everybody cooks and everybody technically has minimum basic skills. For people who would like to run a program like this, first of all, find out what the living situations, the time constraints, things like babysitting, things like transportation, what it requires that these people give up to participate. I would be interested in knowing what their current skill sets are and how we can take those skill sets and use them in the context of the food business.
Deputy Mayor in Athens. It's nice to meet you.
First of all, welcome to Canada. We're honored to have you all here.
Thank you.
The partnership between us, Working Women Community Center, and Toronto Public Health has helped us to focus and align our vision. Then we also complement each other because we have different resources. When we partner together, we put together the tools and resources to focus on the needs of the clients.
How come food and nutrition? I mean, there was a need. How's the job market, the local job market here?
The employment trend in the food sector is always there. It's always huge.
Yeah.
Yes, it's huge.
It employs a lot of people. And the food program is directly under the health kind of thing.
Yes,
policy.
It sits within the food
health
strategy within Toronto Public Health. The community food works.
Like where do you put the food thing?
In terms of the employment piece, one of the things that really supported them is that we give them references when they apply for jobs.
Yes.
They can get referrals.
They can get referrals,
Yes.
and also we can references.
Yeah. Part of what will really be valuable is like what kind of budgetary needs a program like that has. I mean, it doesn't. We don't need to. Not the price itself, but how do you break it down? What are the basic needs that need to be funded? Then I would be very interested in finding out the type of information that you use for building knowledge about food in Canada.
Yeah, and most of the times you don't look for things to copy and paste.
No, but
You are looking for inspiration how you do things, and you have to adapt them to your situation
Exactly.
because the socio-economic situation is totally different.
Yes.
Community Food Works model, I think what makes it flexible is that it's a series of different components that you're putting together. Services that wrap around what would be considered a core competency, or we call it what's the prize. So people come because they're like, oh, I want to get a job and I need to get my food handling and I need to get some type of certificate. But really what they're also getting is they're getting a chance to integrate with people in the local neighborhood, they're getting a chance to access other service, they're getting a chance to socialize and a chance to contribute and to possibly get a job at the end.
So impressive. That is wonderful. Thank you so much, Barbara, for bringing that to us. Now, I'm very pleased to invite Olivier. Olivier's last name I'm going to try to pronounce. Andianairosa? Andianairesu. Thank you. Please.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm glad to be here today. Last year, I I used a video presentation, but this time I'm going to use slides, and don't worry. The time is limited. I'm not going to go over all of them. I'll try to highlight the most important points because for administrative and political reasons affecting my country, even we were not able to do things the way we wanted to do it because there were serious problems leading to, starting with strikes, leading to a change of prime minister and then a change of government. So you can understand that, but it did not prevent us from working. And the first slide really means something because when you talk about the transfer of skills, for us, the transfer of skill starts not just with some beneficiaries, but with as many people as we can reach out. For example, the first slide is, what we see in the background is City Hall. And we have rice bags here that we use. These are the containers that we use for for our project because our main target is the vulnerable people. And for us, vulnerable people means is related to three groups. First, the kids at primary level in primary schools, where we help them to supply the school canteens with fresh vegetables throughout the year. But we also have community gardens with groups of jobless women, always in poor districts of a capital. And of course, people can have their individual gardens. So this is leading by example. The purpose is, this is a permanent display along the fence